Hi, everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of the Tiny Brains podcast. I'm Kevin Joyce, the CEO at Tiny Brains, and with me is Peter Graham, the Brigadier of Brains.
Hello.
So, what we do on this podcast, if you're new watching here, is we take a look at the biggest stories in XR from the previous week. And last week was actually pretty big. There was some big news. So, we're going to dive straight in with the Apple Vision Pro M5 edition.
Mm. We weren't expecting this at all, were we? Uh, there weren't any Apple Vision Pro rumors at all over the last few.
Well, none of the Apple Vision Pro rumors said this was what's going to happen. As I've said on this podcast before, there's been so many rumors, and none of them were like, oh yeah, it's just going to be the same, but with a new processor.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, we kind of there was suggestions that they were going to up the process, and that's what they've done. They've announced the M5 processor is being added into the Vision Pro, and you're going to be able to order them from like this month. I think it's this month. It's coming very soon. But yes, it's one of those boring announcements where it's like, "Oh, shiny processor." But nothing else has changed, so it looks exactly the same. It just makes things faster, essentially, doesn't it?
And they've confirmed that you can buy the PSVR Sense 2 controllers standalone with a charging deck for almost the same price as a PSVR 2.
Well, yes, I was going to get that. That was the more exciting bit, wasn't it? Yeah, $250 for, as you say, the controllers and charging dock, whereas I think it's $400 for the entire thing. Sans, charging dock, but hey ho, that's Apple being premium prices. Yes, and with the new M5 and yeah, you get faster loading time. Supposedly, it's a slightly longer battery life. They've made things a little bit more efficient. So I think you get about 30 minutes extra battery life. Oh, and you get the dual knit head strap as well. That looks rather funky.
And it is an updated graphics and, processor, GPU, not a new one, but it's updated, more efficient. I think they said like 10% more better performance or something.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you didn't buy a Vision Pro last month, because you'd be slightly gutted that you had an old M2 processor. I would expect that there might be a few coming on the eBay market. We're trying to get rid of a few of these.
Yes, one of the key things we have missed here is that this new version of the Vision Pro is going to simply hit retail at the same price as the old one. And
Yeah.
the old one hasn't been talked about getting any kind of price reduction or anything. So you
No.
got to be careful for the next few months as to which version you're buying.
Well, precisely that. Yes, there's been no mention of like Apple doing buybacks or some sort of trade-in scheme or anything like that. So yes, it's going to be a case that dropping, you know, you bought your old Vision Pro, and now if you want to buy a new one, that's a good 7 grand. For the base model, $3,500
Yeah.
for the base 256 gig model. The terabyte is almost $4,000, like three nine hundred. So yeah.
So once again, Apple got my address. Let's get talking. But perhaps more importantly, well, no, not more importantly,
Mm.
but rivalry. I'm gonna mess up your schedule here. Rivalry is Samsung, the competitor.
Yes, Project Moohan, or whatever it's going to be called, Galaxy XR. We don't know just yet. But yes, there's a Galaxy event happening tomorrow, October the 21st.
So last week we got an announcement of an announcement.
Hmm.
Amazing stuff.
Yeah, yeah. There was a few image leaks and things like that happening. And yes, it has been announced that we're all expecting a Galaxy event, and Samsung have finally done it. They haven't actually said, they've only teased it by putting a video, which essentially has half the Moohan in the bottom half of the shot, and then lots of nice imagery on the top. But yes, it looks like it's going to be an event dedicated to Project Moohan, Galaxy XR, whatever it's going to be called. So you'll be able to find out tomorrow how much you're going to be stumping up for one of these new Android XR headsets, which importantly, as you say, rival because it's going to be cheaper than Apple Vision Pro reportedly.
Supposedly cheaper.
Reported.
Uh, but yes, it is the closest thing to a direct competitor to the Vision Pro right now, which generally suggests that we are going to be pushing in this direction for the mega high-end consumer. We have had significantly more expensive headsets in the past and ones in the same range, but they have generally been pushed towards enterprise. Whereas the Vision Pro and presumably Moohan slash Galaxy XR, whatever it may be, are going for the market which they consider they often call prosumer, which are, you know, consumers that want the latest high-end tech and so on, and essentially are willing to beta test things. Now, we don't know that's going to be the case with Moohan and or Galaxy XR, whatever it's called, but it certainly has been the case with the Vision Pro.
Yes, most definitely. So yeah, hopefully we'll find out when it's coming out because as Samsung has previously stated, it's going to launch this year. So maybe at the event tomorrow. Who knows?
I am I right in thinking from what I've seen, it's expected to launch in Korea this year.
Korea has been the main focus, yes. So we don't know if it's going to get an international launch. Again, it's all hearsay and rumors at the moment until you find out tomorrow. But yeah, I would expect Korea first, and then we'll see where it lands.
So for those of us in Western territories, by the time we wake up, could already be all over your news feed. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. It's like Christmas.
Oh, brilliant! Excellent.
So stepping back into Pete's very well organized schedule for a moment, the next story we have is about another headset.
Another headset, and this one was a tease. So we're halfway in between these two announcements with a tease from Lynx on their new headset. Now you may remember Lynx. That was a startup that announced their first headset. It was the Lynx R1 back in 2020, and they launched a Kickstarter and all the rest of it. And they realized obviously making hardware is quite hard, and the launch got pushed back and pushed back. They were originally going to have the first mixed reality headset on the market before the Quests even, but due to various issues, yeah, they didn't. So they actually missed the boat on getting it out before the Quest, but they eventually did launch, and it is really regarded as again one of these sort of prosumer into enterprise level headsets. But they have just teased their next one. Is they're going to be announcing more details soon. They've released a very vague image. And yeah, but again, have said it's going to be an enterprise headset. It's probably going to be, reasonably expensive. You don't expect Quest entry points. But the big question is whether they're going to implement Android XR because Android XR has been developed as, an open system for multiple headsets. So we're waiting to see if that may happen. And more details are set to arrive early in November. So. We're waiting to see, but I don't expect a hardware launch this year. This is going to be further down the line.
Yeah, I agree. I like the Lynx headset. I think it's a good headset. I do think they have struggled to find their position in the market. Um, so hopefully this next one will be obviously the first one was funded by Kickstarter, right? They already had their money to see it through. Hopefully the second one can keep them alive and keep them going.
Well, that's it. Well, I think they, kickstarted it, but they also look for further investment. I think that's one of the many reasons that the R1 got delayed was down to finances as well. But yeah, hopefully they have a better run this time.
Okay, so sticking with the hardware for one more story about another headset.
Yeah. Well, these guys definitely aren't short of a bob or two, a bit of cash. And this is a Shiftall Megane X 8K Mark II. That's a bit of a mouthful. Well, Shiftall were an offshoot of Panasonic, and they announced the Megane X 8K a few 2 or 3 years ago, and they have just now announced the essentially the Mark II version, and it's coming this year. It's due to arrive in December, even on our lovely shores in the UK, for between around about 1900 $1,900, I think. So about £1,600. Now we say the Megane Superlight XK 8K, but it's not actually 8K. It's one of those marketing terms where it's got dual screens, but they don't actually produce 8K visuals. But this Mark II version is going to do all the usual things, improve the comfort, the durability, few system internals, but the displays are going to remain the same. But there's going to be a new chip, new pancake lenses as well. So there's been a few tweaks to make this even better. But it's one of those headsets that, again, it's for the price. You're looking at the enterprise or really serious VR users, maybe in the simulator side of things. But yeah,
So
it's another
my
headset.
question here is, money aside, okay, take the money out of the situation. How many heads do they think I've got? I can't use all of these headsets.
Many, many headsets. You use one for you have a niche use for each single one. So yeah.
I mean, Meta did say that that would be a situation a few years back. I'm not sure if you remember this, but at MetaConnect, when they announced the partnerships, the OEM partnerships, which the Xbox branded Meta headset is the first one of to have launched, they suggested that there would be headsets to fill different niche categories, such as fitness and whatever else. Maybe we're getting to that point just without Meta being on board.
Quite possibly. Although none of these headsets are going to be cheap, so you're dropping like 10 grand to fill these niches if you
Yeah.
want to get all of these headsets.
I am positive most people will pick one major daily driver, their major headset, and then some people will have a maybe a second for their fitness routine or whatever it may be. I don't think many people are going to have eight of these. You and I, Pete, will be the exception, not the rule.
I don't think even I will be the exception, but it would be nice. It's nice to dream. Yeah.
So we're going to wrap up with some gaming news, as we always do. And this one, yeah, I mean, it's welcome.
Oh, Thrill of the Fight 2. It's been available in early access for about a year, and it's due to launch officially on the 19th of November. The big thing with the launch is that it's not just coming out of early access. The early access launch was purely multiplayer. The original Thrill of the Fight, which from back in maybe 2019, 2018, something like that, was a single player game. So the sequel has put multiplayer into it, but only multiplayer for the early access. There was no single player campaign or anything like that. So the full 1.0 launch in November will add a single player campaign as well as several other multiplayer features and all the rest of it. So
Yeah.
yeah, cool.
But the original Thrill of the Fight is still loved by many people, and the second one in early access got a bit of a negative spin because of the fact that it was multiplayer only. So I'd be interested to know, maybe one day, a couple of years down the line, the devs have a chat with us and learn whether actually having a single player campaign was part of the plan at the start, or were they intending on making a multiplayer only experience and then realize with the negative spin that they had to add in single player campaign as well. I'd be interested to know if that's the case.
Well, it's also the fact that the original Thrill of the Fight was a solo dev. It was by a chap called Ian Fitz. He made it all. And for this sequel, Ian is still involved, but he's actually collaborating with Half Brick Studios, the same people behind Fruit Ninja. So there's a bigger team behind this one, and it'd be interesting to see if it does perform as well as the original, just by essentially one solo dude.
Yeah. So good luck with your launch in November. We'll certainly be there and playing. I do love beating Pete up on the occasion. Yeah, thank you all for watching. If you have anything that you would like to have discussed on this podcast, feel free to reach out to us in any of the many ways that you can, which are anywhere basically. And we'll see you all again next week with some Project Moohan news, no doubt.